Yo! What up everybody, I'm Rim. Like and subscribe and watch my other videos. So, as you can tell, I watched that fucking Dove commercial. And even though this isn't something I'd usually want to get into, for some reason this piece of shit made me think about the topic of a target audience. Now, I am pretty sure something like this isn't going to take me very long to talk about, because I'm basically just going to be going off the cuff with some notes, so let's just jump into it. How to define a target audience. Your target audience refers to the specific group of consumers most likely to want your product or services, and therefore the group of people who should see your ad campaigns. A target audience may be dictated by age, gender, income, location, interest, or a myriad of other factors. Massive corporations and Hollywood elites seem to just be getting more and more out of touch with the people that made them rich in the first place. You see, it is my philosophy that a creative's job when first starting out is to gather a community of like-minded individuals who enjoy their work. And then, once that community is cultivated, you continue to give that specific community what it wants. Which, if you made sure that you actually did sell your product to people who enjoy the thing that you enjoy making, you should be fine doing. And on the surface, it does seem as though Dove is doing that. Their main target demographic has pretty much been women at a 57% female consumer base. And with statements such as, "We have always been inspired by women," and a mission statement that quotes,
"We care about all women, female identifying and non-binary peoples. We want to redefine beauty standards and help everyone experience beauty and body image positively. We care about the future generation, helping girls build positive self-esteem through the Dove Self-Esteem Project, ensuring the world they enter is removed of toxic beauty standards."
To my knowledge, they do have products for men as well, but honestly, not very many, and it's not what they are known for. Why is this relevant? Well, because Dove's brand is hygiene products for women. So why the fuck are they talking about female representation in video games? Okay, like, first off, the whole topic about representation in video games in general is fucking ridiculous to me. I'm a casual gamer. I game a lot though. I know a lot of gamers, and some of them are women. None of them seem to have an issue with the fact that women look attractive in video games. Even my chubbier female friends, who you seem to be aiming your 74% statistic rating at. Honestly, they all seem to prefer creating thinner, more conventionally attractive women, actually. At least when they are given the chance. Now, could that change if they had the option to create a fat character? Maybe, but I mean, I'm just going based off what I see. And also, why is it even an issue that conventionally attractive women show up more in video games than non-conventionally attractive women? People like seeing attractive people on screen. Look at this. That is fucking hot. Yeah, she's pixels on the screen, but the fact that she's created to mimic an attractive woman in sportswear triggers that part of the brain that men don't like to admit exists, where we buy something just because we find a fictional character cute, just like this. Don't even try and tell me bitches didn't see this movie for the sole purpose of seeing these sexy ass motherfuckers. And that's my point. These creators have a target audience. They know who they want to sell to, who they can sell more product to, and how to sell said product. There is a reason why all of these woke commercials are basically tanking their company's stock prices, because they are using marketing tactics that are geared towards a demographic that isn't their target audience. I want to pause for a second and take a look at this YouTuber named Idubbz. I've never watched him, but I have an understanding of his current situation, at least enough to talk about it in this specific context. Apparently, he used to be a content creator who told a lot of edgy jokes, used racial slurs, and pretty much he was everything that the 2020s hates. So he decided to change his image and be more sensitive. Maybe because he's dating an OnlyFans model, maybe because he went woke, maybe just because he genuinely feels bad about making that type of content. Who cares, really? My point is that his audience hates him for it, because his audience for years has been the people who love that edgy, offensive content. And yes, he has the right to change, but he is going to have to weather that backlash and lose a large portion of his audience probably before he can cultivate the audience he wants. Why do I bring this up? Because it's similar to what we are seeing in these corporations, and it is what Dove, Budlight, Miller Lite, and Disney, with all of its stolen properties, are attempting to do. They are attempting to take certain established platforms and gear them to a new style of content, and the same thing is happening with the backlash, just on a much larger scale. However, the difference is that Idubbz is attempting to change his own personal platform, and Dove, along with all of those other corporations that I was talking about, aside from Bud Light and Miller Lite, are attempting to change other platforms, but they are going to get backlash either way. The only thing is that I doubt Dove will receive the same amount of blowback that companies like Bud Light did, since technically they are still selling to women, even if it's in a weird condescending way, like calling 74% of women fat. I mean, Bud Light's main demographic is like old redneck dudes, and using a stringy femboy to sell to them is like using a lit stick of dynamite as a butt plug. It's just a really fucking bad idea. And I hope it does blow their asses up, because 100% this push for representation is literally Hollywood pushing propaganda. I don't know what for in this case though. Kind of off topic, but for this woke shit, sometimes it's covert, and sometimes it's just blatant what their goal is and why. In something like the Cleopatra documentary, it's clearly black supremacy. I know people are super hung up on the feminist angle of it all, but in my opinion, they're trying to blackwash history so that black people look more powerful than they really were. And it is literal racism and actually cultural appropriation, but nobody in Hollywood seems to care because a black person is doing it. I'm making a separate video on that though, so I'll leave it at that for now. Back to Dove. I just want people to stop talking about ugly woman representation, and for sure fat people representation, because being fat is unhealthy and it shouldn't be glorified, and attractiveness is subjective. What one person finds attractive might be ugly to someone else. If we're talking about conventional attractiveness, most people don't fit that standard, and most people don't want to be represented. I wouldn't assume, at least, because then in our media and video games, we couldn't indulge in power fantasy. And don't nobody tell me that you believe that some ordinary guy can do the shit that Ryu does, or that some fat chick can do what Chun-Li does. I mean, the whole point of characters that are overly attractive or overly in shape, or for guys overly buff, is that they are a symbol of what one person can be with hard work when they're at their pinnacle. It's an attempt to create a personification of a positive message. If you work hard on yourself for your goals, then you can be something great. And I don't think the majority of the world wants to get rid of that or push to represent unattractiveness and obesity to be on par with that type of message of self-improvement and greatness. Which, in a sense, means that Dove is campaigning against conventionally attractive women for no reason, making they themselves prejudiced of their own accord against that entire demographic, which is what Hitler did. You fucking fascists. It's so fucking stupid. Also, ugly people and fat people just are not oppressed, honestly. And they are not props for you to use to virtue signal and beat up on conventionally pretty women with. Because the cool guy in high school just didn't want to date you. Or because you're a fat, gross cow person whose husband left you for the cute 23-year-old who walks around in her underwear and a tank top outside without a bra on to go to her mailbox in the morning. You sell hygiene and beauty products. Just do that. And honestly, your commercial is kind of an insult to women because you just called anyone who resonates with it fat and ugly. Girl gamers are like, we want more representation. And Dove just goes, you're fat and ugly. Do you feel represented yet? We're fighting for female empowerment. Now, to be honest, I feel like there is a market for this whole woke propaganda type of media where they focus on selling things like movies, television shows, and even those weird trans-focused cafes where they have drag shows. The issue is that these people who want to sell these products are either attempting to hijack already established audiences that don't mesh well with their desired content, or that they are way too fucking focused on insulting the people who don't like their content to actually make their product well enough to be sold. And that is sad because it is creating a really pathetic and immature culture war that is actually ruining the art form of storytelling in all of its avenues. And this can all be bypassed by creatives just deciding to actually be creative and put the work in to build their own audience so that they can preach to like-minded individuals. But no, that's too hard. And sadly, since these corporations are massive, they have the resources to successfully do shit like this. What a sad world we live in. I want to commit suppercide. Anyway, I'm done for now. If you believe that you are a part of my target audience, please like and subscribe. I really need your help to get my channel to grow. I have a goal of 50 subs right now, and only you can help me reach that goal. And I thank you for it. Because yes, it is a small goal, but it is my goal. Okay, I'm Rim. Thank you for watching, and I really appreciate it. I'll see you next week with another video. Bye-bye.